Good morning, everyone. Kindly keep your mic and your cameras on off mode to enjoy this even better. Good morning to everyone. If your action inspired others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. Instill the leadership quality, diligence, creativity, and logical thinking in the students to train and prepare them for the corporate world has been IPER's first choice. Taking forward such steps, even stronger, IPER Group of Institution welcomes you for the first e-panel discussion. I, Shubhi Shivraman, along with Mohammed Akbar Khan, heartily welcomes you all into today's activity, e-panel discussion, The Perspective. Fellow colleagues, please join me in giving our academic mentors, today's judges, participants, and all our faculty mentors the most cordial of welcome.
Good morning, everyone.
We welcome our group.
Good morning, everyone. We welcome our Group Director, Professor Dr. Amarjit Singh Khalsa, sir, and the esteemed strategic members to this event, Dr. Vibhav Lavlekar, sir, Dr. Mahesh Soni, sir, Dr. Harish Kulkarni, sir, and Dr. Harsh Sharma, sir. We welcome you all, sir. We welcome our judges, Professor Dr. Ashish Ghosh and Professor Uwais Qureshi, to our first e-panel discussion, The Perspective. The entire activity will completed in two phases with participants and moderator as per the rules for both the panels. Each panels will comprise of 8 individuals and a moderator. 2 minutes to each participants to introduce their ideas on the topic. Post first round of the discussion for 10 minutes discussion round among the participants, and the participants can counter the points raised by the other participants. Moderator will summarize the session at the end and keep moderator and participant will keep the camera on for the entire session.
Let's start with the first panel with the topic National Education Policy 2020, the impact. Here we welcome our participants of panel 1, Satya Malviya, Ruby Sahu, Ritvik Sena, Kumar Ahuja, Rohit Tikil, Ekta Ganesha, Neetu Kushwaha, Rashmi Agarwal, with the moderator Atul Tripathi. You all can begin.
Okay, all the participants, you must have to understand about the rules and regulation, right? So please follow strictly. And remaining audience, I would request please unmute your mics and switch off your video cameras. Okay? Yeah, your time starts now.
Before starting today's panel discussion, I would like to give a small brief about today's topic. So, National Education Policy 2020 recently approved by Union Cabinet with the aim to introduce several changes in the Indian education system from the school to college level. The NEP 2020 aim at making India a global knowledge superpower. The Cabinet has also approved the renaming of the Ministry of Human Resource Development to the Ministry of Education. The NEP, cleared by the Cabinet, is the only third major revamp of the framework of education in India since independence. The two earlier education policies were brought in 1968 and 1986. That's it from my side. So I would like to call today's first panelist, Satyam Malviya. Please unmute yourself and give some highlight on this particular topic.
Okay, thank you, Ankur. Good morning to one and all present here. So today's our topic is National Education Policy. National Education Policy 2020, the consultation process involved nearly 2 lakh suggestions from 2.5 lakhs gram panchayats and 6,600 blocks and 6,000 ULBS and 676 districts. The suggestions from two committees were also taken. The first committee committee for evaluation for the new education policy, and the second is committee for the draft national education policy under Dr. K. Kasturi Rangan. Previously, it was suggested by the Kothari committee in the 1964. In this new education policy 2020 proposes to change the school academic from 10 plus 2 to 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, in which focus will be on skill development and skill development. Previously, it was about education. Now it is about quality education. In this new education policy, there will be multiple entry and multiple exits. The main focus will be on the research. Has the new and a separate body will be formed, in which the new National Research Foundation, in which the government will impose 22,000 crores in the future. In this, there
Thank you,
will be a
Satyam.
single.
Thank you, Satyam. I would like to call now our second panelist, Ruby Sau. Please unmute yourself and give some highlight on this particular topic.
Good morning to all of you present here, and I Ruby Sahu, and I would like to say about the new education policy is that it's a policy formulated by the government of India to promote the education Indian peoples. The policy covered the elementary education to cover in both rural and the urban India. The national education policy was established in the year of 1968 by the government of Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, and the second government policy which was in 1986 by the Rajiv Gandhi. The main focus in this policy is that the vocational education given to the of the students, through which they establish the vocational skills in that which help the students after they completing their higher education, so that they're having some kind of skills which they earn some money after that. As we see that today we complete the graduation but still not get any of the opportunity or any of the job. So they say so that they implement they add in the vocational skills and the coding skills, which is
Thank you, Ruby.
which
Thank you, Ruby. Thanks for giving a great highlight on this topic. Now, I would like to call Rishabh Saxena. Please unmute yourself and give your point on this particular topic.
Okay. I would like to start by a quote said by Nelson Mandela. He said that education is the most powerful weapon that you can use to change the world. And after 34 years since 1986, India has finally implemented new education policy with the help of Union Minister on 29th July 2020. This policy not only focuses on learning and not focuses only on the rote learning, but also it defines various aspects from elementary school to higher education to vocational training. Now students will not focus on rote learning. They'll shift their thinking to creative thinking, and as they'll start learning from elementary school, they'll start learning different languages, their basic languages, elementary languages, and specific focus will be on lingual languages and native languages of their places, because India is a diverse country and we read and we learn different type of languages. And till 6 we India will focus, or education sector will focus on learning different languages. And also with that, government will emphasize more GDP contraction from 4.4% in 2018 to 6% in 2021. They'll start implementing from next year, and the GDP contraction of education system will increase from 4.4 to 6%. That is a massive expansion from the point of view of education system.
Thank you, Rishabh. Now I'd like to call our fourth panelist, Komal Ahuja. Please unmute yourself.
Good morning to respective faculty member and all my colleagues who have presented here. This is Komal Ahuja and our topic is National Education Policy 2020 and the impact. In a revolutionary move, the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, has led the central government to replace the 34-year-old national policy on education framed in 1986 with the National Education Policy 2020 on July 29. These policy aim to double gross enrollment ratio in higher education is 50% by 2035. The policy is not just want to change the way of students study, but also the change the examination have conducted and the final assessment is provided. By this, it has increasing the flexibility of lot of to choose the subjects in schools and colleges. India is the 35th ranking in global education system in the world. And the national education policy is to change the education systems for a good, because it is a requirement and it is according to the requirement of the 21st century. So so the government has to take a right decision to educate and to giving the more advanced learning to the students. Thank you.
Thank you, Komal. Now I'd like to call our fifth panelist, Rohit Kevlani. Please unmute yourself and give your point of view on this particular topic.
As we all discussed over this that topic, that I would like to put some light over it, as the national education policy stayed away from the concept of universalization of education, focus only on the education market. As it is said that the national education policy, there will be expenditure of around 6% of GDP on education. But as per, I think the expenditure, but it is unrealistic, because it is said in 1948 and 1966 by the Kothari Commission also, that there will be a expenditure of around 6% on of GDP on the education system. But when we see the stats, there is a continuous decline in the education expenditure over the education system for 4.14% in 2014-15 to only 3.2% in 2019. And in the current pandemic situation, the expenditure is only 2% on the education, which is a very bad thing. But let me take you all to the 2013, when the government has introduced the 4-year UG program in the Delhi University. But the program was abolished by the government. But the program abolished by the government, as the 4-year UG program was made into the education policy. So
Thank
it
you,
can
Rohit.
be noted.
Thank you, Rohit. Now I would like to call our sixth panelist, Ekta Valecha. Please unmute yourself.
Good morning, one of all present here. So today's topic is national education policy and its impact. So first of all, let us all see that why there was sudden need by the government to change the education policy. So because of the critical issues that they are going to address in the new education policy. The first is that they want to increase the gross enrollment ratio of these students. Currently, only 25% of the students attend the higher education, and their target is to reach at the 50%. The second reason was to introduce the national education policy to get rid of the rote learning, and the third reason was that there should be no hard separations of the streams. So how they are going to bring the changes, and what are their positive impacts? So to increase the gross enrollment ratio, they had put a cap on the fee structure of the college of the private institutions, that they would fix the maximum amount of cap to the private institutions, so the colleges were not able to charge more than that. So there would be an increase in the gross enrollment ratio. Second is to reduce the rote learning. They had made the CBSE exams more easy. So now people with students with basic learning, they can able to just clear the CBSE exams, but this can negative impact
Thank you,
the
Ekta.
Congo education.
Thank you, Ekta. Thank you, Ekta. So now I would like to call our seventh panelist, Neetu Kushwaha. Please unmute yourself and give your point of view on this particular topic.
Good morning, everyone. I am Neetu Kushwaha. I will be putting light on the National Education Policy 2020. After 34 years, there is a change in the education policy in India with the introduction of the New Education Policy 2020. The new education policy aims at universalization of education in India with a 100% gross enrollment ratio by 2030 for the school education and 50% by 2025 for higher education. One thing, the policy states that the mother language or local or regional language is to be the medium of instructions in all schools up to class 5. In my point of view, language seems to be a negative factor in the national education policy. India has the problem of a disturbing teacher and student ratio, so introducing mother language in the academic institutions for each subject is a problem. And now the challenge is to bring the study material in mother languages. The Indian government wanted to follow in the steps of the other countries like China, Germany, and France, where the foreign students need to learn the language of the country to understand their country better. And India has 22 active languages and not one single national language like other countries. In a bid to promote regional and local languages, English will be taken a backseat if this is implemented. While English is the language that was imposed
Thank you, Neetu. Thank you, Neetu. Now I would like to call our last panelist, Rashmi Agarwal. Please unmute
Yes, good
yourself.
morning. Yes, good morning, everyone. I am Rashmi Agrawal. Today, I would like to discuss about the National Education Policy System 2020. So, firstly, I would like to clear what is NEP. National Education Policy, or NEP, is a comprehensive framework to guide the development of education in the country. New policy usually comes along every few decades. The latest policy is India's third. The latest policy in India third. It replaces for 34 years, but it is blind on all stages. NEP 2020 will bring 2 crore out of school children back into the mainstream. The 10th structure of school curricula is to be replaced by 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. All the students will take school examination in grades 3, 5, and 8, which will be conducted by the appropriate authority. Board exams for grades 10 and 2 will be continued, but redesigns which with the holistic development as the aim. So now I would like to tell some highlights. It is declared on 29 July
Thank you,
2020.
Rashmi. Thank you, Rashmi. I would like to say thanks to all our panelists to come up with a great point and strikes. Now the platform is open for all of you. Now you can give your point of view on this particular topic. So,
Okay.
I will, yeah.
Okay, I would like to raise a point over here. As one of my colleagues said, that language will be a barrier. So I would just like to state a fact over here that UNESCO says that 197 languages of India are endangered, and in past 50 years we have lost around 220 languages so far. And India is focusing so much on multi-language culture of India, because with these vanishing of these languages that we have lost in past 50 years, and the 197 languages that are endangered, and maybe they'll vanish in coming years. We want to protect those because we want to protect our ancient history with that, because as the language are endangered, our ancient history is also endangered. And also one of the factors related to language is that till a kid gets to the age of 6, his 85% of the brain development takes place during those 6 years. And college schools or elementary school is focusing on teaching them in their local languages, because it's a proven fact that human brain develops in 2 ways, either increasing the neurons or increasing the size of neurons. And how that will happen? By increasing the efficiency of learning languages, because students or kids can grasp their knowledge through different languages, as it is told in Sanskrit, and also different languages of India. As much as they learn the languages, they'll learn new facts, and they'll develop their brain faster.
While English is the
As
language
I would
that
like to add a
enforced
point,
in
as one of the
centuries,
person
it
candidate
has
said,
given us a great competitive and global advantage because it is the language that the world talks in. Introducing learning in English directly in class 6 will prove to be very hard on children who come from the backgrounds that aren't as privileged as those from the rich and upper caste families. So it will be very difficult for them to learn directly in class after class 6.
As we talk
as
about
one
the
of the
language,
colleagues said
mother
about the
language,
quality
mother
education,
language
but
is
as per
not
the
the
book of the Gated Republic, 20% of Rajasthan, 20% of Jharkhand, 10% of Madhya Pradesh, 8% of UP government school do not have even a one single teacher, and half of them do not have the principals also. And when we see the ratio of the student and the teacher, 30 crores students are having only 80 lakh teacher, and it is also mentioned that the teacher should be, for the future teacher, there should be a B.Ed for 4 years. So what for the Anganwadi centers, Anganwadi center workers and the rural areas, how it is possible for them? Because and when we see the situation of the Anganwadi center, it is underfunded and it is very poor. As per the report, and when we see that the 3 lakh Anganwadi centers did not have even the proper toilets, and 1.5 lakh did not have having even the portable drinking water.
I would like to say that in the Anganwadi, just like my friend said,
language is the barrier.
my
So
friend
it's the
said
better
that
understanding of the subject. Language is not the barrier. Till the time when a child grows, he learns in the local language. And if we see that he can learn the other language at the age of 6 or 7, but the focus is on the building the influency where he can learn and he can understand the subject betterly. In India, foundation learning is the big challenge. In India, where we see 10 crore children in primary schools can't read, understand simple text, as also can't do simple addition and subtraction. Where the key is the implementation of the NEP aims to have the foundation in 2025 by investment integration education is going to be the key, where the skilling and reskilling and upskilling of the teachers across the nation will be done.
As my friend said about the Anganwadi, so I would like to tell about that the Anganwadi is also developed by the government of as they provide the new education policies. So in that there's some development of the Anganwadi Anganwadi also, because there's a member who is joined the Anganwadi, so they train them and give them a certificate if they pass 10th class. So they give they provide them or they promote them to do the course of online, so that the Anganwadi also doing their well, and they teach the student also.
So are you
And
trying to say that the two modules that Anganwadi workers and the pre-primary school teachers are having the same knowledge and skills, because it is the
But they provide they provide the training them, so that whatever the problems are come across while they giving the teaching.
The 30 crore teacher which are having 80 lakh teachers, which includes Anganwadi center, it is simple.
Rohit, excuse me, Rohit. I would like to just say you cannot counter you just give your point of view. Okay, don't on any particular question, just give your point of view. Okay.
I need to add
the
one
policy
thing
introduces a new
as,
curricular and
the
pedagogical instruction for the school education
putting
that
the
is
regional
responsive.
languages over the putting the regional languages, making it compulsory, it can bring a negative effect to some of the students, like who transfer from one state to another. For example, there is one student who is like Tamilian, and he transfers to Mumbai or Maharashtra, so he need to adopt the language of that particular state, so it can bring a negative impact, and it requires a lot of time to learn such language. So if the if the school will make compulsion for them to learn such language, so this can prove to be a like negative point for them.
I also
I
add
think
that
that's the good point of the policy, because here nothing is compulsory, here nothing is mandatory, there's nothing, the teacher will not come and force you to go learn this, learn this, learn this. They are not going to do this. In fact, the students are giving the liability to choose their own field, to choose their own language they want to learn. And moreover, when they'll shift from one region to another, they are going to learn different languages. That is going to help in their own personality as well as brain development. That's
I
what's
also
going
have
to help
one
them
more
in higher
thing.
education.
But that's good. But if we can say that the English is one common language, they need to first learn that. But the transfer of one student from another, they can learn language, but it requires a lot of time to learn that, because
It
according to the new system 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 2, they will be got promoted to the secondary level. So there is no need to learn the language in the secondary stage.
aims
I
to
As
think
it
the
is also
national
said
education
that
policy
is this also said in next
the
15 to
Ministry of
20 years, the multidisciplinary higher education institutes will be made. So what for the specific institutions like the IITs, when we see when it is said that there should be made a multidisciplinary higher education, what for the specific institutions like the IITs? It seems to that is the IIT will providing the acting courses, or the IIMs will providing the IIMs will providing the medical facility, or the AIMS will providing a business management. How they teach is, because what for the specific university, they are only telling that in next 15-20 years they will convert all the multidisciplinary primary. So what for the specific is mandatory. They do not concern about the specific universities like IIM, AIMS, which provides only a particular course, a particular field only in that.
Moreover, the fact is here that the universities are not the government is not going to tell the high universities that, or for instance, they are not going to go to IITs and Kharagpur and AIMS. They'll not go there and tell them to teach this, teach that, teach this, teach that. They're not going to change their criteria. They are not going to change their departments. But in the elementary school, where from as we are talking of 5 plus 4 plus 4 plus 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, in those areas, from 7 from 6 to 12, their elementary education will be entertained. Because I would here share my experience, as because I was from a science background, then I shifted to commerce background. uh, so students should not face such kind of problems, as they don't know about which subject they should choose in 11th class, because they are not in collaboration with those subjects from since past. Because for example, they teach economics and accounts in 11th class, but before that, till 10th, we don't have any experience of these subjects in so many schools and so many curriculums. So to implement this and to choose their choice, and from elementary schools, from 6th class itself, these subjects will be established in schools. And this is specifically for schools, not for colleges. Mainly school will focus on teaching different languages, especially core curriculum and the curriculum activities. Both will be undertaken and during the school timings in 15 years.
I also add one more point, that the national education policy has an impact on our research and development. The committee has observed that the investment on research and innovation is only 0.68% in India, as compared to 2.8% in USA and 4.2% in South Korea. Then the national education policy has recommended to settle up the independent national research foundation to for funding and facilitating the quality of research in India. So by this, we also increase the research and development for the student development.
Rashmi Agarwal, now you can put also your point of view. Rashmi, unmute yourself.
Okay. Now I would like to say something about NETA to offer common entrance exams to all colleges for admissions to various courses. Multiple entry and exit programs are there, undergraduate degrees courses, and to have multiple options. Academic bank to store credits, and best university to set up campuses in other countries also, and multidisciplinary institutions.
Okay, so here the new National Research Foundation, and this it will be going to be set up in India, where the government is going to impose 22,000 crore till the time 2025. In this, there will be a single regulatory in which the HECI, in which the Higher Education Commission of India will be set up. The technical and the AICT and AICT, NCT, UGC will be combined and form HECI under one single regulatory authority. In this, the medical and bar council will be not be included. The power will be given here to the teachers, not to the higher authorities, for the better learning of the students and for the better development of the students.
As we are in the new education policy, the board examination also plays a very important role. As in the policy, it is stated that the education policy will provide a 2 chance for the student in the board examination. I think it doesn't seems any need for it, because in the board examination we focus on easing the education system rather than easing the education system, or more understandable to the student rather than easing it. So I don't think that there is a need for 2 chance for the student which are there to apply for the board exam. This means that you are simplifying or making easy for students without any workload.
Talking about the teachers will also be offered local, regional, state, national, and international workshops, as well as online teacher development modules, so that they are able to improve their skills and knowledge, and will expected to participate in at least 50 hours of such continuous professional development opportunities in the year.
To make
I would add one more point over here.
I think so. The new education policy that has been laid down it can be appraised if it can be appraised for its vision, but the actual challenge would be for its implementation. For example, there should be a proper planning because the India stands at the 62 position for the contribution in the education sector. It's, and they had declared that the GDP would be contributed to the 6%. So there is a big question like how they can contribute such amount to the education sector if India is standing at the 62nd position in terms of the expenditure. Next flaw
An importance of board
is
exams to
that
be
the
reduced.
question
Exams
of
can
the
be
students that
conducted twice in a year.
in the schools the assessment of the student will be changed. Like now the student will not only assess themselves, their colleagues or their classmates will also assess them according to the performance. But we can see that even today, taking admission in colleges, they need to give a competitive exam, so which only judge their concepts, not skill. So this can be also a big flaw.
To make the
As my
teacher
friend said that there is a exam to be broken down in a two in a year. So it was a good initiative taken by the NP policies, because many of the students who have having a fear to give the exams, because that's a board exam. So everyone having a pressure on there. So I think so that this is a good initiative which taken by which is given by the government of new education policies, that the exam should be in a year of should be broken down in a two in a year, so that if someone or a student if not they are not attend, or they are not clearing the exam in one attempt, so they are having a chance
Thank you,
to.
everyone. Thank you, everyone. Now time's up. I would like to conclude today's discussion. So, thank you each and everyone to give some brief introduction about the topic. We come up with a great statistical data, figures, and facts. So, I would like to conclude universalization of education from preschool to secondary level with 100% gross enrollment ratio in education by 2030, to bring 2 crore out of school children back in the mainstream through an open schooling system, and the current 10 plus 2 system to replace by a new 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 curricular structure corresponding to age 3 is to 8, 8 is to 11, 11 is to 14, and 14 is to 18 year respectively. Promote mother language and increasing the efficiency is the main objective of national education policy, and there is not any boundary on student. Each and everyone can choose any particular language as per their interest. Then, and also the aim of NEP is to promote the rural and urban education system in India. So thank you, everyone. That's it from my side. Now I would like to call Shubhi.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful discussion. Now let's move forward.
Now moving toward our second panel with the topic Unlock India, the steps needed. Here we welcome our participants of second panel, Adil Soni, Umang Gargayan, Pranjal Agrawal, Manish Rupani, Ayushi Samaya, Gaurav Nayak, Neha Meena, Alok Nandan Chaudhary, with the moderator Karnika Jhawar.
Hello everyone. Good afternoon. Akbar, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Hello.
Yes, Karnika, you're audible. You can continue.
Okay. As the discussion of the panel discussion topic is Unlock India, the steps needed. Each and everyone are well of this pandemic situation of the COVID-19. Absolutely, it's the right time to unlock the India between the spike of the infection to showing that a response to the COVID-19. That there are two main points are: first is to economic break-in, further to increase the economy. To increase the economy has to be unlock the India. Second is the possible better fashion bit better in the COVID-19 to respond eco-friendly. There are several discussion points which could be raised arise. Does the India have taken a right step of unlocking the 2.0 and soon and so on? What are the alternatives of the unlock? What are the alternative steps of the unlock India? Is the lockdown is very helpful for the India? Now, I forward in my discussion to our panelists to a warm welcome. First of all, I call the Adil Soni. Please open the mic and camera. Adil Soni. Okay, now my second panelist is Umang Karkanayak. Please come on mic, Umang.
Hi, I am Umang. So I am going to put my views on the Unlock India, the steps needed. So as humans have never-ending plans, but the COVID-19 devastated the plans for everyone, as looking life has been rolled like earphones. So here are my some interrelated recommendations, like boosting government spending for economic recovery is a crucial at this hour. For example, in the form of 100% credit guarantee to MSMEs, and but at the same time, we should ensure the balance between physical spending and financial stability also. Next, there is investment in sustainable infrastructure for boosting economic activity and creating jobs must be there, as 90% of India's workforce is informally employed, which includes gig economic workers. This population is extremely vulnerable to economic shocks and need greater access to formal credit also. Further, if we talk about then the current crisis has changed pattern of consumption also. Electricity usage patterns have shifted as people are working from home on more flexible hours. And there are many steps which should be taken for controlling, like as we are seeing around daily 200 cases are increasing. So steps taken in future would be like the whole coming year 2021, the schools should be remain closed off. If in case school opens, there should be a gathering with the 20% of staffs and students. Further, if we have to need to create more rapid responses team and serverless teams also. We need to involve more options for increasing the option for checking the cases and rates, and more private hospitals should be advised for COVID patients, because this is situation, it can get worse anytime if not taken action seriously. The government should try to keep more grains backup in their government reservoirs. Government should reduce passengers limit to 50% of total seats. Like transportation has also started from first of this month, and offices should reduce their timing periods as the offices are going full weekly. Further, I will end with my point that further there is increase in natural calamities such as recent cyclones and pest attacks showed the climate change crisis. Thus, the current time should be utilized as an opportunity to put efforts in
Umang,
climate change mitigation and
time up.
improving Mother Nature's balance. Thanks.
Umang, time up. Now I call the Pranjal Agrawal, my third panelist. Please come on mic, Pranjal.
Okay, so as we see that after spending almost a fifth of the year, around 68 days lockdown, India and Indians can resume normal activities again, albeit with significant safeguards. So we all know that the coronavirus disease has gathered momentum in May. In due course, the fatality rate in India remains much lower than the global fatality rate, and experts agree that the lockdown has pushed back the peak of infections, giving the country time to infections, giving the time to strengthen its health infrastructure. And after the time, all activities that were prohibited by earlier will be opened with the stipulation of following standards operating procedures, like to be prescribed by the health ministry. The only potential measures against the virus as of now are social isolation and social distancing, which have virtually locked down the world. And during the lockdown period, India has already adopted work from home. Also, the companies may be advised to continue working from home for at least 50% of the employees for another month. And also, flexible working hours may be introduced to avoid the overcrowding of public transport during the peak hours. Also, some steps which are to be followed are e-office and electronic means of communication should be increasingly used. Also, video conferencing instead of interdepartmental meetings and as physical meetings should be avoided.
Karnika, hello, Karnika, can I come up next?
Okay. Eh, 1 minute. Thank you, Pranjal. Now I have called the Manish Rupani to come on the mic and speak to highlight on the topic.
Hello, I am audible. Hello, I am audible.
Yes. Yes,
During
yes.
during the 2 months of the lockdown, the government of India started unlocking the India in 4 phases. But the biggest questionable thing is that we are fast or we are slow. Some of the things which can be started earlier in the lockdown period, which I analyzed during the situation. The first situation, which is that our transportation and logistics cost. The reason that in this lockdown too, the government has relief to the grocery shops and some other relief measure for the essential things which is given. But the reason behind it is that the products which are not available, our demand and supply chain has been imbalanced. During this situation, the farmers are already worked. So I think so. This is the reason behind it. We can some farmers can go to the market and some logistics cost and transportation should be started at the 50% rate, so our products can reach to the market, and the market activity will be started at the time phase. Secondly, the most important thing that we are planning, not executing, that we are already news which is coming that in July, August, September, October, schools will be open, but it is not even during the 4 months of lockdown. So government of India should started this executing the plan that they have made it the policy like in unlock. This first phase will be opening up of school for higher class students from 9 to 12. 9 to 12 means that board exams are already coming on this. Board exams are already coming, and they are not making interaction and good relationship, create a relationship with the teachers, not asking a proper doubt. And some of the students are living in the rural area, so how they get the education? So schools have been started. In the second phase, the 5th to 8th class students will be there, and somewhat the things have been observed to little bit increment of timing of the students on 9 to 12. The third phase for be started and our revenue will be generated, because the main perspective of our economic main perspective of this unlock session is economic growth and safety. Both the things have been generated during the situation that government of India may have some implementation.
Thank you, Manish. Thank you, Manish, for the wonderful points. Now I call the Ayushi Samaya. Please come on the mic and highlight the points on the topic of Unlock India.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ayushi. As the topic is Unlock India, steps needed. So in India, the first case was recorded in January, and in the March, the government announced a complete lockdown, where the cases were 500 to 600, and the unlocking process was started from June, where the cases were around 1.9 lakh cases. So I would like to focus on the initial points which should be focused while unlocking. So first one is the mask. The mask should be compulsory. The element, as the people are not using masks, then they should they should charge heavy for it. And the second one is the social distancing. Distancing is the main issue, as the people of India are not focusing on it. Like very soon the metros are going to start. So if we, I have read an article where it was mentioned that before pandemic, in the Rajiv Chowk metro stations, there were footfalls of around 5 lakh people per day. That means 20,000 people per hour. But if we take the social distancing, then they should accommodate around 8,000 people per hour. Then it is also a very big huge number. Then how they will maintain the social distance? Another one is the sanitization. I would like to take the example of the Wuhan and the New Zealand. They have the recovery rate of 95%, as they have done the sanitization twice a day. But India, it is not possible to sanitize twice a day. At least we can go through like on Sundays. There is a complete lockdown on Sunday, so we can go through sanitizing twice a day, or after 8 p.m. when the shops are closed, then we can go through the sanitization process. And another point I would like to add.
Hello, Ayushi. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Ayushi, for the wonderful points. And now I call the Gaurav Nayak. Please come on the mic.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gaurav Nayak. So, first, I want to give a light on what Indian government has done in this unlock process. Months after the government imposed a national-wide lockdown to control the spread of the dreadful coronavirus, so from June 8, the government had decided to unlock India in phases. Now we are here in the fourth phase of unlock, where the Union Home Minister issued a new set of guidelines for Unlock 4.0. Several states came up with their own set of rules. Like Haryana decided to withdraw its order to keep market in urban area closed on Monday and Tuesday. Tamil Nadu announced scrapping of e-passes system within the district and allowed government private offices to function within 100% staff. A crucial aspect of government strategy is to open activities and movements in the places other than the COVID hotspot. The differential strategy of this nature can only be successful with complete support from the communities. Like due to lockdown, the tourism sector was also affected, by which aviation and hospitality sector also get affected, because all these go hand in hand. So some state like Rajasthan has come up with strategy, like they have opened several monument and tourist spots and also kept several cultural performance at venues like Hawa Mahal, Jantar Mantar, Albert Hall for visitors. These monuments will be open for 4 days a week, and social distancing protocol has been mandated. Mask is also mandatory, and tourists will be allowed to enter only in group of 5. This was successful, and around 1400 people has already visited. So this was possible only because of the trust generated by the government for the people. Thank you.
Thank you, Gaurav. Now I call the Neha Meena to give her points on the Unlock India. Neha, please come on the mic.
Good afternoon, all of you. My name is Neha Meena. So today our topic is Unlock India, the steps needed. A new phase.
Neha, please open your video camera. Neha.
A new phase in the country trust with the novel coronavirus is beginning. On the May 30, Union Ministry of Home Affairs issue Unlock 1 guideline allowing a phased resumption of social and economic activity across the country. Through a calibrated relaxation of restrictions had begun in early May, the new guidelines are significant in that they speak a different language from the notification issued by MHS since the lockdown was announced on March. Is on reopening now. Activities can resume in malls, hotels, restaurants, and space of worship in non-containment zone. Experts said that keeping the country in lockdown would never have been sufficient. The question is whether India did enough during the lockdown period to bolster its medical services and infrastructure. How long can we stay in the lockdown mode? While lockdown by itself is not solution, the question is whether the lockdown was used to make unlocking safe. The government has steps to ahead. The places of huge gathering can be avoided for now. 3 days functioning of all the shops in old even manner. Increasing number of testing. If perfect lockdown throughout the country is implemented for only 14 days, this novel corona can be crowded easily. No movement to public for any activity. Government should all necessary items door to door. For there will be high chance of human resource as 49% of informal sector in India will work out of home to earn money. As the shop and restaurant are opening, no one knows who is affected by COVID-19. If in a shop a person is affected, it will notice after few days.
Thank you. Thank you, Neha, for your wonderful points. Now I call the Alok Nandan Chaudhary to give your points on this topic. Please come on mic, Alok.
Thank you, Kanika. So before coming to topic, I want to highlight some of the points from fatality point of view and economic point of view. So according to European Center of Disease Prevention and Control, the average past 3 days of fatality was peak. I mean that they were showing that India was having more than 80.3% average fatality rate, and which was 92.3, and this is the data of September means yesterday. And from economic point of view, I have to highlight that first, from the 1998, the World Bank has said that poverty rates will increase due to coronavirus, and approx 71 million people will lose the job. And their estimates also say that in India, 1.89 crore people have lost their job, and in last month only 50 lakh people lost their jobs. So what we think that government should come up with something to improve the infrastructure and improve the fertility, to lower the fertility rate. So like at the ground level, flowing of rule is not there. I mean, the district administration is controlling all things to whether to check the door-to-door COVID testing, and they are not giving powers to the hand of the village heads. Still there are migrants roaming around the streets, means they are not getting jobs. Like yesterday only, the NTBC have joined with some NGO in Assam to give jobs and training to the youth there, so they can go to other states and fertility rates remain low.
Thank you, Alok. Alok, thank you for your points.
Yes,
Now I call the Adil Soni to come on the mic and say something about the Unlock India.
Thank you so much, Karnika. I hope my voice is audible.
Yes.
Okay. So India proceeding with its unlock strategy against the novel coronavirus is basically based on scientific models that the government has implicated. Now taking into account that the testing of the patients have been increased significantly from a daily basis. Since yesterday, only 11 lakh individuals were tested for the coronavirus.
Adil, too much of voice break. Just adjust your mic. Too much of voice break.
Hello.
Yes,
you speak
Adil.
on speaker.
Just 1 second. 1 second, sir. So sorry. Am I audible now?
Yes, Adil.
Okay. So now since yesterday only, the government data shows that within a day, 11 lakh individuals were tested for the coronavirus, and this is much of a positive information considering the fact that our testing capacity has increased significantly. Now, understanding the unlock strategy, as we know that since lives are more important, livelihood is equally important for all of us. So in order to earn themselves a living, unlock is very necessary. And in order to promote the steps, so we need to follow basic physical distancing, social distancing, and make sure that everybody is following the rules and regulations. And considering those things in mind, I feel that we'll be able to overcome these challenges. And if we see the daily data that is being presented, our trajectory of just 1 second. Average daily active cases trajectory is coming down on a weekly basis. That's all from my side for now.
Okay, thank you, Adil, for your wonderful points. Now it's time openly to give up the points on that particular topic.
Okay, I want to add some points related to that which is mentioned that many of the people have left their jobs in lockdown periods. So government of India at the end of lockdown, they have said that there no lockdown will be there. But after some time, Bombay and Chennai, these two cities were there, they continuously go for a lockdown. Why? That is the reason behind that they are increasing number of patients. But if we say that our economy is in the recent newspaper which is coming by the CRISIL in the article that their economy is down in 23%. So how can we revive it by increasing consumption. So these big cities played an important role in increasing consumption, because tier 1 cities are that point where many types of job opportunities are there and many types of tourism sectors which are there. So if in order to increase your economy, in order to provide more and more employment opportunity, you should unlock more and more cities, and no lockdown will be there.
I want to add
Exactly.
some points on
After
this.
that Manish's
that
point, I have my point that there should be, government should invest sustainable infrastructure, so that the gig workers, as you are telling, the gig workers are unable to get employment. So for that, they will get employment. Okay, so for that, there should be a infrastructure boosting. Apart from this,
I want to
as
add
my
one
friend
thing,
Pranjal has said
that
about
the
the
lower
social
skills
isolation is
workers
a
don't
good
have
option.
proper training.
Do you know the meaning of social isolation? Do you know the meaning of socialization?
Yeah.
There is a good question, big question mark, because it is not possible to keep an
Want
individual
to add
always in
one
a
point
social
that
good isolation.
there is no problem. We can work from home,
See,
but the
being
lower
in a
skills
social
people don't have
isolation
the
is not
option
an
of
issue over
working.
here. Understand that if somebody is experiencing some symptoms, in case if he feels that he has come in contact, so in this sense that he needs to be in a preservative environment. He should isolate himself and be in quarantine, and that's what it means.
So for that, government is not raising any option, right? Government should
I
raise
want
any option or any
give some
facility to the
suggestions.
people who are in social isolation.
Listen,
We should provide
everyone.
facilities to government.
Umang, it's a panel discussion. There should be no questioning, no answering, no debate like that.
Okay,
You
okay,
just
got it,
give
got it,
only
got it.
points.
Okay,
See,
got
I
it.
want to unlocking India is
I
important,
want to add one
but
point.
there should be some measures like urban area people are aware of the rules and regulations. But I think the village people are not aware about the rules and regulations. So the government should, they should, like Nukkad Natak, they should play that the village people should aware about the basic rules and regulations like the social distancing and the mask. Like I see the people when they come for the shopping, so they come in a group of 10 to 15 people. So there is no social distancing. If we are not focusing on the initial issues, then how we can go for the big issues?
I want to give some suggestion
I want
about
to add one thing
see if we are
that in
unlocking
the
the
time of
India.
coronavirus, we can't do the Nukkad
Then
Natak
government
thing
has said
because there should be a more fatality rate by doing this. One thing we can do this, we can advertise through the use of radios, which government has done well. But the thing my friend has said, the industries were just firing people from job, and that's why the migrant crisis come up. So government have not prepared a tie-up with the industries and not given the guidelines. That's why they fired that much amount of people, and there was a havoc situation on the roads. We have witnessed in the last 2 to 3 months. So one thing we can do that providing the local
that is very good.
the training.
But what is the
situation is
step
not
to be
only
taken
in
if
India,
we
it has been
unlock
happening all
India?
over.
Like government,
It has been,
I want to add one point. If government has said
It should be banned.
What
It should be banned. Like interstate should be banned.
I want to give suggestion if government has said till September 30th.
Guys, please one by one give your points. Please, it's a humble request.
See, I want to
Opened the government, government has opened the tourist place. Yeah, that is good. Now government should think that school should not be opened. Like they are telling about the school should be opened with the 50% students, with the 50% staff. So government should now next step think about that.
Yes, I am only giving one suggestion. If government has said
tourist places,
September 30th, no education institution will be open.
listen to me.
I want to answer.
Hello, everyone. It's a humble request.
hold on. So, एक करके बोलो यार. What are you doing? All like a fish market. I can absorb only 126 bits per second. उससे ज़्यादा नहीं. Raise your hand and tell. Nothing is audible then.
Okay, Gaurav, give your points.
I
please.
want to answer the question of Umang has said we should not open the institution. Yes, government has said till September 30th no education institution will be opened, but after that they have to come with any strategy, as nobody can learn forever through online classes. So my suggestion is that so they have to come with a strategy that every class can be divided into two batches. Like in the class of 50, they can divide the class in 25 and 25 batches, and the batches will be allotted offline and online classes in alternative days. Like batch 1 will have offline class today, then batch 2 will have access to live classes through their mobile phones or laptop in their home. By this, we are taking prevention also, and learning will be more effective.
One thing I want to add in this, that we don't have that much infrastructure already in India. 50% of people are not having the online facility with the for the education. So if we are going to open schools from in the MHA guidelines, they have said that 9 to 12 students can voluntarily come to schools, which means there is a chances of coronavirus increase. So one suggestion in this, that they can at least make a drill or make arrangement then how they were having a common room and how in the recess the children were said themselves, because children don't go on by the rules. Like if we see the case of America, there was a school, Thompson School, they have opened, and in the schools 829 students got infected with coronavirus.
Okay, I want to
Guys, thank you, panelists. Thank you. It's now the time up. Neha, can you give some points?
Yes, gyms opening had been considered to be very vulnerable to the spread of COVID-19, given their close environment and sharing of equipment among multiple users. And in India needs to rise its public health spending to at least 3% of GDP. Education will play a key role in ramping. Gyms had been considered to very vulnerable to spread of COVID-19.
Okay,
And
Neha, thank
for-
you. Neha, thank you. Pranjal, if you want to give some points, please.
Okay, as we are targeting government that they are not providing these services, but this is wrong. We can't fire government during this course of pandemic situation, because government has done so many things that they have provided beds in the hospital for the people who cannot cure themselves. And also some NGOs are also organizing awareness campaign in the village area, so that the people can be aware that what the situation was and how they can cure that. They have educated them that how can a coronavirus cannot be spread if we can maintain the social distancing, if we practice wearing
Karnika, may I give my last point? Karnika, I want to add some point. Yeah. Karnika, may I give my last point?
Time up. No, now it's time up. It's time to conclude me, as the topic is the Unlock India, and you are given a wonderful points highlighting the topic. The main is that unlocking India to focus on the social distancing and put on the mask on the face, and there should be sanitized for their safety arise, so that the country can move to the economic place, and government can take some points which are given by the Home Minister in the unlock in 1.0 to 2.0 guideline, which is helpful for opening the step by step to all of you. It's never ending. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. It was really a good discussion. Now it's time for the results. For that, I would like to invite Professor Uwais Qureshi sir to announce the result of first panel discussion and enlighten his points about the topic.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much. It was wonderful discussion, right? But still, I'm feeling some students are lacking on the basic understanding of the e-panel discussion and the debate. We are not at all talking about the debate. We are just contradicting the statement of each other. And I found some, people were using some kind of a bad languages. When we are in any kind of a debate, we are not supposed to say, do you know what is the meaning of that? Do you know what is the definition of that? No, not at all. Certainly it's not working. If you want to say something, whatever my friend Rohit is saying, I just would like to add on something. and start saying like that. Second, when we are talking about the topic, it was already given to you. No one talk about what is the objective of the national education policy. No one talk about what are the latest feature of the education policy, which was announced in 1920. All the time, we are just making the comparison of the previous policies. Then we are talking about what is the difference and what is the good and bad thing about this policy. You are not talking about the same thing which was required. Okay? When 2 minutes had been allotted to you, completely those are your 2 minutes. Completely your 2 minutes. Whatever you have planned, whatever your knowledge and understanding about the topic, just express it that. When you talk the open forum, you are just listening and saying. But in early 2 minutes, that's completely yours. And guys, you are lacking on that. Still, I found people are very good in language. Fluency is very good. Vocabulary is very good. Grammar is very good. Some people still are pronouncing bad words. It is education policy. You can say education policy also. But some people are saying education policy is not accepted. Okay? No problem. There is always a next time for everything. I wish you all the best. Now, when we talk about the results, those who are very good do not feel that you have achieved everything. Those who are not in the top list, those don't feel that you cannot do any damn thing in your life. All the time, backbenchers are doing very good, extraordinary good. Okay? So don't be disheartened about the results. From my point of view in this contest, today's the second position holder is Ruby Sahu. And first position holder is, I think there is no need to say, Rishabh Saxena. Okay, congratulations and all the best.
Thank you, sir.
All yours. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, winners, and thank you so much, sir, for your valuable views.
Congratulations. And now it's time to call Professor Dr. Ashish Ghosh to announce the result of second panel and give his views about the same.
I'm audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes,
And I'm visible also?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you very much. See, I will take you through this. ये जो result है, I will later on declare. But some finer points that I saw from all these 8 people who were there. Yes, 8 people. And then my take. Actually, if I had been in your place, मैं किस तरह से इसको इस e-panel discussion में शामिल होता, I would just like to bring to your notice कि मैं किस तरह से करता. So let me first of all tell you about some finer points that I observed during this discussion. एक उमंग गर्ग्या, 2-3 points very good, बहुत अच्छा लगा मुझे. You talked about this gig workers. Yes, this is a new concept that is coming out. लेकिन आप में एक थोड़ा सा मुझे लगा कि the area of improvement that you need to work upon is your aggression. आपका जो aggression है, तो ये GD में कभी कभार ये negative points आ जाएगा. If you are if you are giving this thing to a very पुराना type का एक company है जो कि 100 years से है, they are having some values and all those things, तो वहाँ पे ये सब GD में आपका negative चले जाता है. This aggression, perhaps in other companies which are very startups and all those things, they would like it, but not in those things. On 2 points. First, your aggression, what it tells, ये कि आप team member नहीं हो, plus you are imposing your opinion. तो इस area को जरा आप थोड़ा सही करना है इसमें. Regarding Pranjal, why you are seeing at the down? नीचे देख के क्या कर रहे थे यार? तो please, वो क्या है, दिख जाता है यार. मनीष, well done. Schools आपने बात किया, and I was looking forward कि कुछ और थोड़ा deep जाओगे, because India में क्या है, haves and have-nots का बहुत बड़ा difference है, and 70% of the students are simply sitting idle because वो online classes कर ही नहीं सकता है. And I was looking कि आप what you would have suggested, आपका सजेशन मुझे चाहिए था कि अगर मैं मान लो एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर होता या कुछ भी होता या प्राइम मिनिस्टर होता, जो भी होता, या एजुकेशन सेक्रेटरी होता, हाउ वुड आई हैव प्लान्ड दोस थिंग्स? But that I was looking into. Alok, job lost. You talked about a good data about job loss, but how to bring back those jobs, yaar? वो कहाँ है? As an MBA graduate, you should not talk about the problems. Solutions दो यार. Those solutions were not there. आदिल overall ठीक था, फिर भी I was कुछ मैं ज़्यादा ही आपसे उम्मीद कर रहा था. Now coming to the second part, this is the is I'm audible, na Subhi?
Yes, sir.
Audible.
Right.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
No, you
actually,
don't,
I
please
gave the
don't
suggestion
interrupt.
like
Please don't
ITBP has
interrupt.
worked.
आप मेरे साथ बाद में कभी भी बात कर लेना, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. The second segment that I will be talking will be taking you is the topic unlocking India steps needed, and this is a very important topic as of date because it is in circulation across the world about how to bounce back. The topic itself says steps needed, यानी कि bouncing back. Presently, I think we are into this unlocking 4 वाला period पे हैं, and we see the government is doing its opening in a very phased manner. और आप लोगों ने ज़्यादातर वही बताया. The steps needed, most of you missed. As an MBA graduate, remember, as an MBA graduate, the focus will be how will you plan towards economy bouncing back and rebuilding the country through the opportunities or area of improvement from the crisis that it has evolved. A crisis है, unprecedented crisis, but it has given some opportunities, area of improvement, and how to bounce back. This should be the main focus on steps needed. I heard 8 voices and got a glimpse of how they foresee the events, and missing में मुझे बस वही लगा कि how you would have planned the things. वो मुझे थोड़ा सा missing मिला. If I would be have been in your place, मैं इस प्लान के बारे में बताता कि as a प्रधानमंत्री or any मंत्री or as a babu or like an IAS, how would I have planned for bringing back the economy or to rebound in terms of India as a country? So first of all, planning. तो मैं planning को 3 भाग में बांटता. One is your short range. Short range means quick wins. The results जो सबसे पहले अच्छा देता है, बहुत जल्दी दे देता है. The first will be short range, intermediate range. Intermediate range is 12 months and long range that will be more than 12 months. इस तरह से मैं 3 plans बनाता और उसमें segregate करके बताता. Now coming to this plans से पहले I would have someone have talked about this the contribution through this GDP. 16% of the GDP का contribution is from agriculture, 30% from manufacturing, and manufacturing is rebounding back. If you see the कल का या परसों का जो data आया है, that PMI index and all those things, car sales, it is slowly it is rebounding back. But what about that 54% of service sector? Yeah? No one talked about that service sector which contributes about 54%. How to do this? आपको मालूम है, hospitality sector completely broken, tourism completely broken, entertainment, films, उसका जो shooting, लाखों लोग उसके साथ जीविका उनके साथ जुड़ा हुआ है, it is completely broken, devastated. So those things should have come from you. यार तुमको solution बताना है कि steps needed, ये करना चाहिए, ये करना चाहिए, ये करना चाहिए. So this you will be getting from this data. उससे ज्यादा डेटा का कोई काम नहीं है. Data are all past things. वो हो चुका है, उसके थ्रू हम आगे का प्लान करते हैं ताकि ये चीज ना हो. And then about the formal and informal sector, you all know very well about this informal sector which contributes around how much? Around 75 to 80% of this economy. But आप लोगों ने किसी ने informal sector के बारे में बात नहीं किया. Those said the solutions should be coming from that informal. आप लोग कोई भी एक point ले लो. I am not telling कि ये सब points लो. And एक भी point लो यार. जैसा education के लिए या 70% लोगों के लिए क्या आपने सोचा है? उनके लिए सोचो यार, जिनको कुछ भी पिछले 6 महीने से एक चवन्नी भर का कुछ नहीं मिल रहा है. coming to this, then the intermediate range में the credits given by the banks. You see, कल का ही सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जजमेंट दिया, स्टे डाल दिया, एनपीएस नहीं घोषित कर सकते हैं. Now Supreme Court is looking into this economy, यार. This is something, and that is also for few people जिन्होंने जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट में चले गया. The whole, आप बैंक में चले जाओ, क्रेडिट्स नहीं मिलता है यार. जितना भी गवर्नमेंट, we Indians are very good in planning, but the implementation and its evaluation and control, we are completely out of that. Opening up much more. Government should open up much. It is not the the business of government to be in business. Government should खोल दीजिए आपको बस. You should be looking only into welfare. हम लोग क्या है बहुत उसमें चले जाते हैं कि we are socialist country, but socialist in true sense is welfare of the nation. It's not कि government control on all the business. That's why people are always a fourth grade के लिए भी लाखों लोग, even की PhDs and all those things, MTechs, BTechs are all applying for those things. क्यों? क्योंकि वहाँ पे काम नहीं करना पड़ेगा. So government should freeze out, move out from all these businesses. Yeah. But this was what I was looking from into कि किस तरह से आप plan करोगे. तो the long range में, which should be greater than 12 months, two sectors that I would have told. One is education and the second is health. You know about education, India में it is only less than 3% of the GDP that has been utilized करते हैं, जिसमें से 1% is only on higher education. R&D में it is only 0.7%, and someone touched this thing 0.7%, 6.68 किसी ने बताया था, and I'm glad that you talked about these things, South Korea and all those things. उसका कल ही वो शायद आ रहा था पूरा सब चीज में. So see, while you compare it with USA, 6.2%, and they are much more greater in terms of GDP from India. Uska 6.2%. And what does India do? We are spending only 3%. 3% from day one, from 1947 onwards. This is the average, less than 3%. Health, we are spending only 1.5%. USA 17%. See, if you focus on these things, you go to any developed countries, वहाँ पे ये दो पैरामीटर आपको सबसे ज्यादा हाई मिलेगा. और इससे jobs भी create होगा. For example, let's say about education. I was looking into how would you plan. सबसे पहले teachers का recruitment करना. I had been into 5 to 6 villages across this in Bhopal regarding that Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, and we have seen from very close quarters about the health system and the education system that is happening in India. Teachers का recruit करना. एक room में 4 क्लास चल रहा है. Can you believe? Can it happen? वो हो ही नहीं सकता यार. 126 bits per second and a human mind can absorb. उसमें से 4 लोग अगर बोल रहा है तो how can it be done? Nothing will be audible. Second is pakka buildings. The toilets and everything, most of them are not having, even the infrastructure is there, तो वो कोई use ही नहीं करता, वहाँ पानी नहीं है यार. Electricity. These are the 3 things on which I would have planned कि किस तरह इसको, and we would have created some milestones. Within 12 months ये करना है, from 12 to ये करना है. Milestones create करना पड़ेगा. In project management, you all have gone through milestones यार. तो ये जब तक milestones नहीं बनाओगे तो ये plan ही रहेगा, कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. Now coming to this health में medical colleges, you have seen in this pandemic the dearth of doctors, कितनी कमियां है doctors का. Paramedical staffs, hospitals, why one AIMS in a state? Why not every district is having an AIMS? क्यों नहीं करेंगे? Let us do it यार. वो जो एग्रीकल्चर जो 16% कंट्रीब्यूट करता है वहां पे ज्यादा फोकस ना करके उसका कुछ पैसा इधर में भी डालो यार. Something would have happened. This is my opinion. See, I'm not. How would I have taken up this panel discussion? And then the infrastructure development. जो भी इसमें एक मेडिकल, एक हेल्थ सेक्टर के लिए जो करना पड़ेगा, आपको जो हेल्थ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलप करना पड़ेगा, उसके लिए चाहिए. You have seen these ventilators. These ventilators had been manufactured. कब? जब हमें जरूरत पड़ी. जब यहाँ तक आ गया पानी, क्यों इससे पहले नहीं हो सकता? अभी तो हो रहा है ना, इससे पहले भी हो सकता था। And the 50,000 में ventilators बनाना, we could have gain a very good export market on these things. Now, एक आप लोग कभी सोचना जब भी इस टाइप से कोई टॉपिक्स मिलता है कि think about Japan यार, 1945 completely devastated, and see where they stand now in only 75 years. It is the mindset. The implementation plan तो बनता है यार, some education policies के भी बारे में बात हो रही है. In India, this is not the first time education policy has been made. It is the fourth time. 68, 82, again it was rebuilt in 92, फिर से उसी को ही किया गया था, and then this time. But what we gained अभी तक बहुत ही minimum. And कब से चल रहा है? 1968. Think about that period. 1947 जब हमें स्वाधीनता मिला था और 68 इस बीच दौरान the complete 21 years we were having no education policy. So एक और शॉर्ट टर्म में मेरा था कि मास्क वगैरह की, see the more you are into this, अगर आप प्रिवेंशंस प्रिकॉशंस मेंटेन करके चलते हैं, मास्क वगैरह, इस पे थोड़ा मैं सुनना चाह रहा था. बट मास्क तो ये तो गवर्नमेंट ने तो नियम बना देना है, बट वेयर इट इज इम्प्लीमेंटेड, आप मैं जाता हूँ, सब मार्केट भी जाता हूँ, मैं देखता हूँ about 75% of the people are not wearing masks. So what to do in that case? पेनाल्टी लगाना, there is the penalty, 100 रुपया, उससे क्या होता है यार? Similarly, you see into Malaysia, थूक दोगे तो you will be getting those quotas. So this type of thing should happen, and this is what you should have suggested. Thank you very much. And the last but not the least and the most important thing, there was a very tough fight for second position. First position, second position के लिए भी काफी तगड़ा रहा. And second position goes to Adil Soni. But Manish, you are very, very near. First 8 point के लिए इधर उधर हो गया यार. But that's all. And the first, any guesses?
Sir, Umang.
Yes, it's Umang. You got the first. But जो मैंने बोला है, अपने एग्रेशन को थोड़ा सही कीजिए, वो आगे चल के हो सकता है कि ठीक है. तो it is Umang and Adil, but Manish, well done. अगर मुझे 3 बोला जाता तो मैं 3 में से तुम्हें भी दे देता.
Thank you, sir.
And others also, well done, but keep improving. बस यही मैं कह सकता हूँ. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your insightful views and guiding us in such a better way. With that, we conclude our first e-panel discussion, The Perspective. I, Shubhi Shivraman, thank you all for giving your valuable time and joining us on this e-platform. Now I request my co-anchor, Mohammad Akbar Khan, to carry forward.
I would like to conclude the e-panel discussion, The Perspective Session 1, by thanking all the exceptionally commendable performance by participants. I would also like to thank our group director, Professor Dr. Amarjit Singh Khalsa sir, academic mentors, Dr. Vaibhav Lavlekar sir, Dr. Mahesh Soni sir, Dr. Harsh Sharma sir, Dr. Harish Kulkarni sir, and all dear faculty members and colleagues. I hope you all enjoyed the discussion. Thank you for joining us on e-platform. Thank you.